Washougal is still at it, undefeated on the year and winner of 22 consecutive overalls. The return to Washougal marks the last place he didn't win a race 2 years ago. Can Kevin Windham find the magic once again, or will RC cruise to his 23rd straight win, inching him closer to a 9th straight title?
Washougal's coming up on OLN.
The AMA Motocross Series by FMF brings us to Washougal Park, and our telecast here on OLN presented by Parts Unlimited. We're glad you could join us on what is a beautiful weekend for racing here. The track conditions are terrific. The crowd is incredible. Even the Air Force is into the act. Here's our Unbound Energy Washougal National. It's round number 8. I'm Brian Drebber along with David Bailey. Aaron Bates controlling the pits and paddock for us, bringing us the stories from down in the dirt. It has been all Ricky Wake up, Ricky. Come on. You got a moto to run here. And Ricky Carmichael has such a huge lead in this championship and has had him covered all season long again.
You can tell how much confidence he has just by being able to sit there on the starting line and relax a little bit. I mean, for Kevin, he's got nothing to lose, but for Ricky, you know, this is 9th straight title, perhaps.
Kevin Windham, the last man to beat Ricky Carmichael, and it was here, July 27, 2003. Windham sitting second in the points by a long shot. Let's go to Aaron Bates.
Well, there's a couple of big stories here this weekend at Washougal in the 250 class. James Stewart is still not back, and Chad Reed took a crash in practice this week, gave himself a concussion, and he's not authorized to come back racing just yet. But that does leave an opening for some of the riders who have never made a podium finish. Travis Preston, Ernesto Fonseca, Nick Way, Michael Byrne. These guys have been battling the top 5 position all season long, but have never made a podium finish in their 250 career. It's going to be an interesting race today, and we'll see how it all pans out. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Aaron, as we take a look here at some of the guys that she mentioned who have never podiumed, but today could be their day.
Well, you know, in the 125 class, there's quite a few riders that have never gotten their first win. And in the 250 class, I don't think we can really talk about that because Carmichael's here. So a podium is the next thing down the list, and you know, these guys are certainly capable of doing it. You got to add David Villeman to that list. He's been on the podium before, but he's still a rider that's shooting to get another one.
Taking a look at some of the guys here during practice. Here's Nick Way out of Michigan on his Honda CRF 450R. And a lot of the red bikes getting great starts. The number 12, that is Villeman from Corona, California, by way of France. And looking to get himself up at the top of things. Number 14, of course, Kevin Windham, the man who won here a couple of years ago, the last guy to beat Ricky Carmichael. That's a distinction you don't necessarily want to have, as not everyone has things going their way. Even Ricky Carmichael falls down once in a while. Not often when it counts.
Ah, he was just kidding. He's like, what's this brown stuff all over me? That's weird. Doesn't fall down very often.
Nor does he ride behind anyone for long enough to get very dirty. Ricky Carmichael, the class of the 250 class, and the class of motocross racing in general. He's had the fastest practice times here at Sunday's final session. And, well, what else is new?
Well, I would expect Kevin Windham down there with the 229 to be a little bit quicker, but I'm pretty sure he understands what's going on with this racetrack. He's probably just out there looking for lines, things that'll work for him later. See the track just under 1.5 miles in length. Last year, the winners were Carmichael and Stewart. Stewart not here. Carmichael certainly the heavy favorite, and both he and Kevin know how to get through these shadows and around this slick racetrack.
Very fast track this year. The 125s were running time significantly faster than the average lap times for the 250s a year ago. So things are good here. Conditions are good for racing as we take a look across the starting line here. And now we'll take a look at our Honda starting grid, show you the names of the men who will be beginning this race. Carmichael will start from what you would call the pole alongside Kevin Windham, David Villeman. A lot of the favorites are going to be in close proximity to one another when the gate drops.
I'm hearing they're putting a little bit more power into Carmichael's bike before this race, thinking he needs a little bit more to get up those uphills and to battle with Kevin Windham, who's been strong here in the past. And I think the best place to find that out is right off the start.
Well, the start is what's going to happen. The gates are up and everybody focusing like a laser beam as the gates drop. Watch for the big scramble into turn number 1. It looks like Ernesto Fonseca with a great start there on the 24. Ricky Carmichael moves into the lead around the outside. The 77 Matt Gorka from Florida also out in front. Now Carmichael regains that spot. Boy, a lot of position changes just in the first couple of turns.
You know, what I really needed to see some of was Kevin Windham, number 14, and you got to go pretty far back in the pack to find him. He's probably the only rider that can really challenge Carmichael for 30 minutes plus here at this racetrack. And by the time he gets into second, if he can, I expect Carmichael's going to be gone.
Durko doing a great job with the number 77 machine, holding on to second position right now. The whole shot technically went to Ricky Carmichael. Fonseca was there in the lead briefly. He's now in third spot, and things are changing rapidly behind our leaders. There's the number 12, David Villeman. And here we get a good look at the 16, John Dowd at Ludlow, Massachusetts on his Suzuki.
A lot of privateers up there right behind Dowd. Timmy Wiegand. Also Matt Gerke running the second position there, number 77. He got a great start at Unadilla, ran up front for a while, so this isn't anything new for him. Exciting. Be a little nerve-wracking, you know, but he doesn't have anybody really tough breathing down his neck right now. Nothing against Fonseca, but he doesn't put the kind of pressure on you that somebody like Windham or Chad Reed or Stewart or Carmichael would. So he's able to ride in the clear a little bit right now. Billman, ooh, good save.
Both feet off the pegs on both sides. He almost switched sides with him. Take another look at this, riding the screen.
The back wheel is going to step out to his right and swap back the other way, and reason enough to get the feet out. Put out those rudders and make sure that sometimes your foot can hit the ground and come back up and slap the side of the bike. I've actually broken my foot that way. So Billman, that's a high-speed section. Lucky he didn't get any worse than that. It's a good save.
End of lap number 1, and Ricky Carmichael is out in front. Fonseca running in third spot on the number 24 machine, and 12 is Villeman. And you can see them all lined up behind. Our first look at the number 70, Travis Preston, who has made his way up into the top 5.
Watching Villeman in practice, the lines that he chose and the throttle control, the delivery he has, a little bit like Windham. It seems like it would benefit him on a track like this. He's got to be, you know, you want to finish on the podium anytime you can, and you know you want to do it right with all the competition in the field. But the fact is that Stewart and Chad Reed are missing, which is going to make it that much easier and a little bit more pressure on some of these guys to get up there and get their first podium.
For the marquee matchup that often results with Bubba Stewart and Chad Reed challenging Ricky Carmichael. Windham, as you have mentioned, probably the only one, at least historically, the only one that's been able to do so for the entire distance in these motos. Ricky Carmichael out in front. Is he cruising yet, or is he actually still working for him?
I think he's just trying to put a big gap on the field right now so he can cruise. And, you know, so he's laying down his fastest laps right now, trying to make these guys just all race for second. It looks like it's already starting to happen.
As Fonseca moves around Gorka for the number 2 spot. So Ernesto Fonseca on the 24 machine. That Gorka not giving up. He's got his own foot off the peg there on the left side. Here comes the 12 of Buellman, getting very, very close indeed. Ernesto Fonseca now beginning to open a little bit of a gap on Matt Gorka, who was in second place.
Good job by Fonseca to put himself where he belongs, get through everybody, but now he's going to be dealing with Villeman, and those guys have been battling quite a bit this year for the 4th position, back and forth, trying to steal the overall from each other. This time they're in position to put themselves on the podium in that overall, and still no sight of Kevin Windham. There he is right there.
Finally, the number 14 of Kevin Windham begins to make an appearance. Not the best of starts for him. He was right there with Ricky Carmichael alongside anyway in the starting gate. But once the gate dropped, Carmichael took off. Windham's having to fight his way forward in this one.
Seems like it's always something, though, you know, and the riders that can challenge Ricky Carmichael are either injured or they have some sort of a slip-up or a bike problem or they don't get starts consistently, and it, you know, it just goes to show how difficult motocross is. Things happen, and it's difficult to be at your best every week, which is what makes it so amazing that Carmichael's able to dodge all these bullets and always put himself in a position to be looking good out front. And, you know, he can run the same riding gear in the second moto. He's not even getting dirty, and I like the fact that he's gone with the green. It looks pretty good up here in this forest.
Well, Ricky Carmichael applies a different kind of pressure than what we usually see. Most of the time we talk about pressure being applied from behind, but Carmichael applies it from the front. People get hurt, make mistakes chasing him as opposed to hearing footsteps behind them when he's there.
Yeah, but nice move by Kevin. Just good planning, put himself on the outside, and is going to land him on the inside into the next corner. You notice Kevin is staying out of the groove in some places and riding out in that cushion. He understands where the traction is. That's why he's had so much success here.
So Kevin Windham on his way to the front, but it may be too little too late for Ricky Carmichael. Look at the lead he has. He makes a couple of turns before the next bike even comes into view, and when it does, it's the number 24, Ernesto Fonseca. So Fonseca has moved into second position. Windham third. The best battle on the track right now is for those final two spots on the podium. We'll be back. The 2005 AMA Motocross Championship brought to you by Suzuki. Lightweight, superior power, incredible handling. It's why champions choose Suzuki. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. And by the world's largest off-road specialists, Rocky Mountain MC. Get ready. At Washougal Park, Ernesto Fonseca second, David Vuillemin third, Ricky Carmichael out in front. This track is providing a great venue for all. Look at all the spectators. The ones that are watching are having a great time, and the ones that are walking around are just getting ready for more of the same.
It's like Windham had a look at Vuillemin. He's trying to work inside, outside. He was trying to set him up through the whoop section, but Vuillemin had it covered. And it looks like he's finally going to run out of tricks. Vuillemin taking a look over his shoulder in the right-hand sweeper way back in the infield there. Knew it was Kevin Windham, and I don't know. It just seems like when he does that, it's as though he knows, well, he's going to get me eventually, and he didn't seem to put up that much of a fight. Maybe he doesn't feel like he has the speed for Kevin, who caught him pretty quick. Maybe he's going to try to learn a little bit from Kevin and find his way around Fonseca before this is over with. That's what I would be guessing at this point.
Ricky Carmichael out in front, just riding any kind of line he wants to. Meanwhile, the mechanics probably trying to figure out how they can get up there to join him. Ernesto Fonseca, Kevin Windham, both on Hondas in second and third position right now. Windham's done a great job to recover from what seemed like it must have been not the best of starts to challenge fellow Honda rider Ernesto Fonseca, who got a great start. Not
a good start for somebody like Kevin. You see again those lines? He's always able to run outside the groove and stay in the cushion. That's the key here. Is, you know, anybody who's ever ridden a Mammoth Mountain, another beautiful racetrack with trees like this, shade. It's so important to put your lines together, and you even have to take your time a little bit in spots just so that the lines all come together in the upcoming 2 or 3 corners. And Kevin doing a little bit better than these guys he's racing with right now, but the guy doing it better than everybody is Carmichael.
Here's Kevin Windham, and he has the body language of a predator as he moves past Ernesto Fonseca. You can see him kind of hunkered down over the handlebars. I'm going to get you, he said, and got him, he did. As Fonseca goes back to third, Windham stalls out just a little bit in that corner, but continues into second position. Ricky Carmichael doing what he wants to do.
Did you see him just lay it into that corner? And it's when you watch him, it's like no wonder he's winning, you know? I mean, there's Kevin going through the same corner, and although that was nice, smooth, no mistakes, it just wasn't as fast.
Kevin Windham running in the number 2 spot right now, a ways behind Ricky Carmichael. You can see him looking around the track. How far ahead of me is he?
Yeah, well, Ricky was going over this jump right here that they're approaching, and Ricky, as Kevin went over the jump before that corner back there and looked over, Carmichael went over this jump and looked at Kevin, so they know where each other are on the racetrack, and just in case they missed their mechanic's signal board on the way through there.
Here is Ricky Carmichael on the Makita Suzuki carrying the green outfit there.
Fast line, too.
Yes,
Didn't mean to interrupt you, but he's coming out of that corner and tripling in. I saw Fonseca do the same thing. Now Kevin is able to do it. They're going wide and tripling. The quicker line, if you're in traffic, is to take the inside and not leave the door open, but it doesn't set up as fast as the timing through there. And the lead that Ricky has now, you can afford to go wide right there and make all that time back up.
Well, Ricky Carmichael on what would look like almost a training ride for him. He makes the good ones make it look easy. He's making it look easy enough for me to get out there. God forbid. Here is the number 14, Kevin Windham. He's put some distance on Fonseca. Heuleman now is trying to make a move on Ernesto for the number 3 position on the track.
You can see him working inside, outside, trying to stay out of the groove, also trying to stay out of that roost. When you're following a 450, all that dirt flying off the rear wheel and a few rocks here and there, that it hurts, man. It really hurts. So he's trying to create an opportunity, make Fonseca nervous, gives him a look there on the inside. And anytime you're going to follow a guy, you want to be right on him so that roost doesn't have a chance to come up in the air and hit you in the chest. See him, he moves again to the opposite side.
Ernesto Fonseca, David Heuleman, 3rd and 4th positions on the track right now. Windham just that far ahead of them, as now the best battle on the track is for the final podium position. Here's a look at our leaderboard. We'll be right back. Let's take a look at our flashback here in the 250 class. We go back to 2003. When was the last time Ricky Carmichael lost a 250 main? It was to Kevin Windham on July 27th, 2003.
Hear this sound? That's Carmichael on a CR 250. Hadn't gone to the 4-stroke yet. Kevin Windham, who was already awesome at this racetrack, put that 4-stroke to good use and put Carmichael away.
Kevin Windham won both motos that day. The major incident for Ricky Carmichael, aside from losing, he was stung by a bee in the face in the second moto, caused him some real problems, as you would imagine. But it was the last time that Ricky Carmichael was ever beaten in a 250 AMA Motocross overall, never mind in a moto. Kevin Windham the winner, Ricky Carmichael second. We come back to current action here in our Parts Unlimited presentation of AMA Motocross by FMF. The battle for 3rd continues between Ernesto Fonseca on the red 24, Heuleman on the blue 12.
I was going to say it looked like Heuleman had the line, but Fonseca once again able to cut him off. You know, the thing that I've always been impressed with Fonseca is his ability to just handle pressure. I mean, I've seen 4 or 5 people just stacked up behind him in Supercross, and he'll just take his own lines and not worry about having to protect the inside and block anybody.
Up alongside and now in front of Fonseca goes David Heuleman. But if Fonseca chooses a correct line through here, might get a better drive off. And now the Honda mechanics are redoing the message board here as we go back to number 70, Travis Preston, running in 5th position. And a little further back to the number 26, Mike Byrne on his Kawasaki.
27, Nick Way and John Dowd. The old man out there, I guess we could call him. You know, he's not that old, but compared to some of the kids out there, he is. And pulls up in his motorhome, wife and kids, and goes out there and shows them how it's done. So much experience, and you know, he's mature, so he knows how to get the job done. And a great ride at Southwick, finishing on the podium, a track he really likes. And even though he was able to get such a great result there, he's still able to back that up with strong performances like what he's putting in here.
There's the number 27, Nick Way, and the 16, there is John Dowd, the senior member of the field, we'd have to say, the elder statesman in this class. But you know what? He's still out there doing it. A lot of guys his age are standing on the sidelines or have moved on to different positions in the sport.
With a beer. Going, man, I used to, you know, and he's still out there. He gives all us a lot of, me too, in fact, something to cheer about.
John Dowd at number 16 having a nice battle with Nick Way, a rider much younger than he is, and in his 7th position.
This is another track that requires great lines. Looked like Dowd ducked onto the inside. He got sideways, though. Otherwise, you might have had a look at Nick there on the inside. But yeah, I talked about how important it is to pick lines here. And the same for Southwick, the roughest track on the circuit, where John really shines. And some of the line selection, I think, is working into his favor here today.
Ricky Carmichael on the final lap in some traffic there. The number 52, Keith Johnson, out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, getting the move over flag, acknowledges it, looks back to see there's not anybody coming very soon, so he can fall back in line behind Carmichael on this final lap and follow the champ's lines a little bit. Carmichael doing such a great job, making it look so easy. Another moto win going in the books for the number 4.
And judging from right now, I mean, he kind of the difference between himself and Kevin Windham, and And Ricky's still charging pretty hard right here. Usually he's looking at the fans a little bit. I think he wants to just get back to the bits. Maybe possibly just crush these guys and not do the usual slow down on the last lap and make them think, well, you know, it wasn't that far behind. He's going to let them know just how far behind they were. And last time I checked, just a little over 15 seconds.
A very fine effort for Ricky Carmichael. Again, technically got the whole shot. He was not the very first rider away from the gate. By the time it counted, he was out in front, and he's been there ever since. The number 14, Kevin Windham, behind him a significant amount of time, and has to be wondering, what do I have to do to beat this guy? He was indeed the last one to do it, but it's been a while since Carmichael lost a moto or an overall, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen here today.
I just want to watch him go through those switchbacks over and over again. You know, he gets in there so hot. You think, wow, well, I'm still impressed by how fast he went into it. He's already on the power and just rockets out of there and rockets out of the next corner as well. And that section of 5 bumps leading up to the big tunnel jump, rather than triple in and double out, he just didn't worry about the timing the way he jumped in there and skimmed out like stadium would. So he seems to be able to do whatever he wants out here on the racetrack. And you know, if what I hear was correct, him putting a little bit more power in the bike, changing the setup a little bit for the slick track, whatever they've changed over their Suzuki, they've done in a fashion that Ricky is very comfortable still.
Carmichael continuing to work his way through traffic and now catches the checkered flag. Almost caught the flagman by surprise, who's waving the white flag for the lap riders. Ricky Carmichael earns another moto win. He has taken first place in this one, set himself up for yet another overall. And the man who does it better than anybody else has done it again here at Washougal. Ricky Carmichael now celebrates and waves to the crowd.
Well, it's a good effort by Kevin Windham to get through the pack, get up into second place, and that puts him in position to possibly win the overall if he can beat Carmichael in the second moto. He's done it here before, but I don't know. Ricky looks pretty strong today.
He looked very strong today indeed. So the number 4 on his Makita Suzuki has earned yet another win. We'll be back. Mount Hood in Oregon looking over Washougal Motocross Park in Washington. Let's hear from the winner, Ricky Carmichael, Moto 1.
The streak that you've been on every other year since 2001, Kevin has taken the overall win. Was there any concerns coming into this race?
Kevin rides really, really, really good here, and don't count him out for the second moto. He's going to be good. He put in some good laps the first moto, and I'm looking forward to racing him. I like racing Kevin a lot, and I got a lot of respect for him, and look forward to the next one.
We look forward to the race. Great job.
Thanks.
Well, Moto 2 coming up in just a few moments, but let's take a look at our Suzuki Moto results. Carmichael, Windham, Vuelam in the top 3, and down through the remainder of the results. You know, these are guys that were just further behind Ricky Carmichael than anybody else. Kevin Windham, our runner-up.
Ever since 2001, Kevin Windham has been able to take an overall win every other year. Kevin, it's that other year this time. You've got one more moto. If you get a good start, do you think you have what it takes today?
He was inching away from me even after I got in second. I'm going to have to go and study the track, study the lines, and do something to try to get up there with him. He's really riding good, really riding strong, and definitely need to get a good start. I need to have everything go my way. He's so strong.
Well, we see him back here on the podium for the first time since Hangtown. David, you and Ernie had a great battle out there. What made the difference for you to excel on this track?
I got a good start, and Ernie passed me in the beginning. I made a big bubble, and you know, I think I had better lines, and you know, I'm trying to do the best I can to be on the podium, and it was a good opportunity this weekend, and you know, I'm the last samurai on the team, so I need to bring you know, Yamaha on the podium.
Nobody does more to protect your right to ride than the American Motorcyclist Association. Every racer on the track is an AMA member. How about you? Call 1-800-AMA-JOIN or visit AMADirectLink.com. The AMA, rights, riding, racing. More racing coming up here on Moto number 2, but in between the motos, there's this. American Honda's employees are among the best in motorcycling. Here's the story of 3 who took their knowledge and applied it to their own businesses.
MB1, we do complete suspension. We work on Showa, we work on KYB stuff. We're going to expand our company to other type of components. With all my knowledge and experience, we offer our customers exactly the same settings what our top guys do. The customer, like I said, will get the in-depth knowledge and experience, racing experience that MB1 has. After Ricky left, I saw the way the industry was going and some of these other suspension shops and what they've done. That kind of what drove me to do something else and, going undefeated.
I work closely with MB1. They handle all the suspension stuff. I never claim to be a suspension guy. So between the two of us, we got a pretty good thing going. We did some other bikes with Chad Watts. Gosh, it's like any business. I see so many opportunities out there. The biggest thing that I can offer is my experience of knowing what's necessary and what's not. And being in the factory, I know what we did and what we didn't do. People often assume we did a lot more than we really did. But this is what was required to get us to the end of the race. And that was always the most important thing at Honda. All that development through the Rhino years and all that was reliability first, performance second. And that's what I push my customers right now.
So many former associates of Ricky Carmichael during his Honda days have moved on to another phase in their life, as has the number 4 rider himself, now riding for the Makita Suzuki team, getting ready for Moto number 2. Sure. Ricky Carmichael moving into the starting gate for Moto number 2 had some problems on the parade lap. We're not sure what was going on, but let's take a look at our Honda starting grid here. Carmichael will be the pole sitter, so to speak.
Still gets his first pick to the gate, and Wyndham's got to make sure that his starting spot is right, that he's got his rut dug out just right, it's packed just in. If it's not perfect, then how in the world is he going to catch and pass Carmichael? I don't think that's going to happen today.
Well, we'll see if Carmichael has any problems as the gate drops right now. He's running right alongside Travis Preston, number 70. Carmichael doesn't get the whole shot. That's almost headline news. Out in front, it's Ernesto Fonseca, Kevin Wyndham. Carmichael back in about, well, it looked like 5th or 6th spot. Maybe we'll call it 4th. And that is about where he's going to be in 4th position coming off the line here. Ricky Carmichael, the number 4 machine's got some ground to make up on Hondas.
And for the second national in a row, number 64 right there, Sean Collier rejoining the Nationals. He only rode Hangtown in the 125 class. Oh, nice save right there, Sean. But at Colorado, he came out in the top 3 and ran in the top 5 for a while. And here, I think he's going to lose the position to Carmichael, but it's got to be a thrill for him to run up front like that just for a bit, just like Matt Gerke did in the first moto.
So a trio of Hondas out in front of the Suzuki number 4, Ricky Carmichael. He's put one of them behind him now, moves into 3rd position. And Ricky Carmichael, no panic, no problem, no worry. He didn't get the whole shot. He's not out in front. You can see, I think I can see anyway, by his body language, he's saying to himself, hey, no problem. I got these guys right in front of me. Let me just be patient and get them one at a time.
Yeah, I don't think he's too worried. If he was in 3rd and Kevin Wyndham was in the lead and maybe checking out just a little bit, you'd see a little bit more panic in his riding style. But Ricky's ridden so long and won so many races, he knows how to win them. You're right. Right now he's just going, well, there he is. So let's see what you got, Kevin.
Ernesto Fonseca, Kevin Wyndham, 1-2 right now. Wyndham working on Fonseca. And Ricky Carmichael just kind of biding his time back there, maybe 10 bike lengths behind these two Hondas.
Kevin deciding, okay, let me go wide so he can triple in. Ricky, of course, isn't going to go wide. He's always going to go in there and show him that yellow fender, that big number 4. He's always going to do that. Even if he loses a little bit of time, he's going to get in there and make you nervous.
Fonseca, Wyndham, Carmichael, no one. That's pretty much how it's going right now. The first 3 bikes way out in front of everybody else. As we watch this, Fonseca, Wyndham, and Carmichael is getting much closer.
He's getting showered with roost, too. Both those 450s spitting all those rocks and all that dirt at him. I've seen him get nailed in the chest a couple of times. He's getting tired of it.
Stung by a bee in the face a couple of years ago. It's one of the things that can happen. He comes right through and passes both of them. It looked like Wyndham was trying to get a drive on Fonseca there. Fonseca kind of lost some momentum, and Carmichael just passed them both. Made it look, well, it almost surprised me.
I can't get the smile off my face right now, Brian, because I know how hard it is to do what Ricky just did, coming to that right-hander way back there off the jump, and just, he didn't even sit down to the corner, just stayed standing up on the power. The back end slid into the berm just right, and he passes both those guys. They must be feeling like, come on, you know, I mean, we're not that bad, are we?
What happened is probably what they're saying to themselves. Where did he come from? We know he was behind us, and now all of a sudden he's in front. We didn't do anything wrong. How did he get there?
And he's leaving them right now. You know, he doesn't even go that fast. Finally, Kevin, I was just going to say, he couldn't get around Fonseca after that exchange. Finally makes the move. Now the crowd's going, all right, come on, Kevin. Don't make us head for our cars. We want to see a battle. Look at this. Watch Ricky goes around the outside. He's out there in the cushion so he can get on the gas early. Makes the pass on Kevin. Look at this. Back end slides just right. Stays standing up on a wheelie. Crosses it up off of that jump to aim himself more up to the inside and miss the bad braking bumps. And then passes them both. Beautiful.
Beautifully done by Ricky Carmichael. A textbook move. Well, actually, it wasn't so textbook. Where did you pull that one out?
That's the new Carmichael textbook with the big 4 on the cover.
He is rewriting the textbook on how you win races. He has done it about every way you can. And now, Kevin Wyndham and Ernesto Fonseca, who were in front of him just moments ago, are struggling to stay even in contact.
It's, you know, for Kevin right now. For Fonseca, I don't know that he's that surprised. You know, I mean, he gets beat by Ricky quite a bit. And he hasn't beaten him that many times. But for Kevin, I don't know. I mean, I'm rooting for Kevin just to see a battle. Nothing against Ricky, but, you know, I feel bad for him right now. Kevin's got to be thinking, forget it. I'm over it. I'm going to get second, so let's just get on the plane and go home.
Looking back a little deeper in the field, but Ricky Carmichael said he was looking forward to racing with Kevin Wyndham. Well, it didn't last long, did it? Welcome back to the 250 Motocross from Washougal. Now let's go to our riding tip with Team Suzuki. David Bailey.
What we want to show you this week is how to get a good strong drive out of a corner without getting sideways. That skid mark right there under the top layer of cushion, that's like riding on ice. Watch how Ricky handles it. Waits till the back wheel is up against that berm, and then he delivers the power nice and even. You don't want to bury the throttle right here. The back wheel is going to slide out up over the top of that berm and get sideways on him, which is what happens to Sipes earlier in the day without that berm. It steps out a little bit on it right there. The key is to deliver the power a little bit smoother and to stay in those ruts.
And that's our riding tip with Team Suzuki. We return to the action here, moto number 2 at the Unbound Energy Washougal National.
Matt Gerke finding himself up there with it as well as Sean Collier, number 64, up there battling with Travis Preston, the factory Honda rider. Going, get these privateers out of my way, making me look bad. And these guys getting great starts. Preston gets by Gerke, working on Sean Collier, the same kind of bike up the uphill. I don't know if he's going to pull him that much.
Riders all over the place here as we take a look at the number 16, John Dowd. Respectfully, the old man coming under assault here now as David Villeman is right behind him, as well as the 26, Michael Byrne.
Well, it was just a nice line by Villeman right there. Golden opportunity by Byrne and Villeman to put together a podium here today with the absence of Reed and Stewart, but for Villeman, it's going to be a tough one. Fonseca nailing the whole shot and doing what he needs to do to put himself in position for the podium. Villeman's got a lot of catching up to do.
There's the number 70, Preston, on the Honda.
solid ride by Collier. You know, when he got the start at Denver, I've watched him ride for a while in amateur races and turn pro, and when he got that start, I thought, well, let's see how he handles it. And he ran 5th for most of the moto. I think he ended up 7th or 8th, and doing the same thing here, proving that it's not just a start. It's got him up front. He's actually a decent rider. Shirt's coming untucked. That's about the only thing I can see really going wrong there.
Well, we'll give him that one, no problem. As long as Sean Collier from Santa Clarita, California is doing as well as he is, we'll cut him some slack on the shirt tail hanging out. Yellow flags waving here in this section of the race cars. And it's David Villeman down on the track. He's going to get restarted again, but not before he's passed by both Collier and the number 70, Travis Preston.
Well, so much for the podium. Because by the time it's going to take him to get past all these 3 riders that just went by him, there's no way in the world he's going to catch Fonseca unless Fonseca hands it to him. Collier looking over, he knew that Preston had a strong drive through there, and that's somewhat of it's not a rookie move right there. You would see by Collier, well, that was. He messed up right there and let Nick by, but that move before was just being smart. He knew Preston had the drive on him. If he'd have jumped to the inside, they both could have gone down.
Sean Collier losing a couple of spots now as Nick Way, the latest to go by him. We're still looking at a pretty entertaining little battle here for positions just outside the top 3 or 4. And the mechanics from their area, a very brief amount of time for them to stick the boards out there and do a little bit of cheerleading for their favorite rider.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility. Look at all the different stuff they put on. I like when they put it out there and sometimes these guys don't spell breathe correctly. I don't think they want us to show them that on TV. But this track is, as you can see, it's spectacular. But the one thing I think they need to change is where that mechanics area is located. And it's not the only track. There's a lot of them on the circuit where it's difficult from the mechanics' point of view to try to get accurate signals to their riders because they just can't see very much.
Well, I was going to say, how important is it, though, really, when all you're doing is sticking a sign out there that says doing good? I mean, clearly, if there's some real information to pass along.
I know that. I know I'm doing good. I know I need to breathe, but, you know, you notice that when you look at the pit board and why I didn't explain it very much when beautiful. Villeman's like, I need that podium, man. Get out of my way. That was a good move. When you duck around somebody on the outside like that, that's a sign that says, yeah, I ain't messing around.
Well, he's motivated by having made a mistake and gone down on the track, so now he's just trying to recover from his own faux pas, so to speak. David Villeman moving forward once again, trying to recover a few of the spots he lost a while ago.
Yeah, you can see him as he went off that jump, looking over to his left, going, all right, where's Fonseca? There's another look. He just comes off the ski jump a little bit faster. He goes way out to the outside where the bumps aren't as big and just drops right in there. He knew Preston couldn't come in as aggressive because he had a sharper turn to make and gamble a little bit, and it paid off.
Barely enough room to make it off that berm, but close is good enough. Ernesto Fonseca in 3rd position. This is the spot that Villeman was challenging for earlier before he made a mistake. He's got a long way to go to get up there right now. And Ricky Carmichael, Kevin Windham, the guys up front, also.
That gives you an idea how far back it is to Villeman just coming through the picture now. Nick Way trying to get up in there and have something to say about it. But Villeman was able to get him right back, so I think that's the way that's going to stay, even though Nick putting up a good fight.
A battle for 6th position for Villeman. It had been a battle for a podium spot. David Villeman on the number 12 Yamaha. With the number 27 Nick Way, the number 70 Travis Preston. That's where they are right now, 6th, 7th, and 8th position. Nick Way coming back around on the outside, pulls ahead of David Villeman again. Villeman's going to have to go to work on the number 27 one more time.
Well, Nick and Preston going by Villeman. So
problem.
Something's got to be going on with David there because he just pretty much laid up through that section and gave those positions back. Now he's fighting for it, but it's tough to say. When he fell down, something might have got bent.
We'll be right back. The 2005 AMA Motocross Championships have been brought to you by Suzuki. Lightweight, superior power, incredible handling. It's why champions choose Suzuki. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. Closing laps in the 250. Moto number 2 here. We're still watching Nick Way, Travis Preston, and David Vuillemin, who lost a couple of spots so quickly that we thought he was having a problem, some kind of a mechanical problem. That does not seem to be the case. Now he's just trying to gather himself and see if he can get those spots back.
Yeah, I think he's comfortable that he'll be able to beat these guys. And the last time up the hill here, it was like, I don't know if he got stung by a bee. It was hard to say. He gets by Nick Way, no problem. And it's like he got by Preston as well. So doing his own version of Carmichael further back in the pack, passing 2 guys at once. I think he was confident he was going to get those guys back. He might have just had needed to take a breath of air or something from that crash where he just kind of lost his focus and rhythm for a bit. But he's obviously got it back now, and he's riding great. It's just, you know, a little too late in terms of the podium. He rode awesome earlier in the season at Red Bud. He had the fastest lap time in the second moto, even over Carmichael, but you know, further back in the pack. He needs to get the start and ride like that in order to have the kind of days that Ricky has.
Ricky Carmichael, no problems, no worries, and no issues along the way to what appears to be yet another moto win. If he goes 1-1, that'll be a 23rd consecutive overall. So Ricky Carmichael continues to set the standard by which all others are judged. And yes, Chad Reed wasn't here. Yes, James Stewart wasn't here. And yes, Ricky Carmichael is still the best.
Neat shot coming out of the woods right there. What the riders see as they drop back down into the infield. All the fans coming out of the shadows. That's a pretty good free fall. He drops down about 100 feet or so. And what do we got here?
Millville next. They're already looking forward to the next round here for Ricky Carmichael. This one is going into record books as a double moto win and an overall victory at Washougal Park. Ricky Carmichael and the Makita Suzuki team doing a great job. They put him in a position to win the race. He takes the ball over the end zone and pulls off yet another victory here. Ricky Carmichael on his way. Fans at Washougal have seen this act before, and they never get tired of it. He is the best.
He is starting to cruise now, and even cruising, he had a great timing through that loop section back there. And whatever problems it looked like he might have been having on the parade lap got all sorted out, and another sweep, extending his points lead.
The checkered flag is out. The checkered flag is waving for Ricky Carmichael as he does a couple of no-handers over the final few jumps, waves to the crowd, and will celebrate yet again here at Washougal Park. The last time he lost was at this racetrack. That was 2 years ago, not today. Ricky Carmichael takes our Suzuki Moto results in first place again. Kevin Windham and Ernesto Fonseca rounding out the top 3. And David Vuillemin coming up short again, finishing in 6th position after a mistake. Our Honda highlight, well, that has to be Moto number 2 with Ernesto Fonseca and Kevin Windham in front of Ricky Carmichael for a while. And then we couldn't believe it.
Carmichael just proving why he is so dominant, why he wins every race. Fonseca looks over at him going, oh, it's you again. And just give them the position. Windham still not able to make the pass on Fonseca as Carmichael checked out. Eventually moved his way into second, but by then it was too late.
Our overall results with a 1-1, that's pretty hard to beat. Ricky Carmichael's going to take this one. Kevin Windham with a pair of runner-up finishes earns 2nd position. Let's hear from the winner.
Well, it now marks 2 full years since Ricky Carmichael has ever lost a race. Ricky, an astonishing 23 overall consecutive wins. How do you do it week in, week out?
You know, I have no idea. You know, I just love racing, and I work hard, and I surround myself with great people, and definitely got to have a lot of luck, too. And it's just been an awesome career for me, and I'm super happy.
The start didn't go quite as easily for you in Moto number 2. You were having a little bit of bike problems right off we could hear your bike sputtering a little bit.
Yeah, something was wrong with it. I don't know if I had something in the carburetor or something like that, but you know, it kind of cleaned out after the first lap. I was scared though, like, oh no, I might not make the race.
Take a look at the point standings now for the championship. It's kind of no contest at this juncture of the season. Carmichael with a huge advantage in that championship. Back to Aaron Bates.
Ricky rode strong today. You know, I think that he probably prepares pretty hard coming into this race, knowing that I generally do pretty good here. And, he was definitely ready today. He was on his game. And, I felt strong. I just think it's just like that second I need to find somewhere. It's just that one little second. But lap after lap after lap, when he has it, it creates a big lead. So just keep trying to polish away, and hopefully we'll get it.
Celebrating his very first 250 outdoor national podium finish, Ernie, you battled your heart out this weekend and you made it happen. How good does it feel to be up here?
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, like you said, I've been working pretty much the whole time for this, and my bike was great. I mean, what can I say? The Honda was unbelievable. I got 2 great starts, and I think that made it a lot easier for me. These guys are fast, and a little bit easier with Bub and Chad being absent, but I'll take it any way I can. You got to take advantage of those situations, and hopefully I'll be getting closer and closer every time.
Ernie gets his first podium, and apparently some Idaho fans enjoy Kevin Windham's work here at Washougal. We're looking forward to Millville next, David Bailey. That should be a good one as well.
And possibly the return of Chad Reed and James Stewart, but that is Ricky's track, as you can see on the pit board. We'll see you then.